RLCRAFT is the most well put together and thought out mod pack on the market, and it's thought out to be a very difficult mod pack. RLCRAFT teaches you how to play by beating you over and over like your dad, but that sucks. So what if there was a way to learn without getting destroyed like a Taco Bell bathroom? This video will teach you the game knowledge you need to know before becoming a masochist like me. The Just Enough Items mod, or JEI for short, is the most important informational resource you will have access to. You can view recipes by pressing R or left-clicking them in the search bar. You can also press the plus button in the recipe showcase to autofill that recipe into the crafting table, provided you have the resources. You can press U to see all the uses for an item. You can also press A on an item to add it to your bookmarks. In RLCRAFT, your health is divided into 8 parts, which each have 3 hearts: your head, chest, arms, legs, and feet. Your head and chest are your vitals. If either of those lose their HP, you die. The damage distribution is applied based on the event that applied the damage. This is why Queen Elizabeths are so dangerous, as they will shoot your head and chest. Similarly, if you fall off a cliff, your legs will lose their health. You can press H to view it. To use healing items, right-click with the item. Also, food doesn't heal you, because this game sucks. Instead, you need to craft healing items. Thankfully, there's many ways of raising your heart count well above the starting 3 per body part. To make your hearts permanently display, go to Mods, type in the search bar, First Aid, click Config, then click Overlay Mode until it says Hearts, and then click on Display Mode. In the GUI, replace the 200 with -1. This makes it permanently showcase the hearts. Save the changes, and now your health should be displayed in the bottom right as hearts, and it should always be there. The skills menu can be opened by clicking on the icon to the left of your inventory, or pressing Y. This menu has 8 skills. You can put levels into them by clicking on the skill, and then clicking plus in the top right if you have the XP required. Leveling skills earns you skill points to spend on perks in that skill. You get 1 per every 2 level ups. Leveling skills is mainly needed for meeting item requirements or breaking requirements, such as Iron Armor requiring defense level 8 and Breaking Wheat requiring farming level 2. There's some optimal skill leveling routes, but those change world to world and are learned naturally with experience. Just level whatever you think is best to level. Eventually you'll figure out what you want to level when. Upon reaching XP level 5, you can press L to activate your autism buff. I highly recommend choosing the combat route, as RLCRAFT is mostly about fighting and exploring. Mining and crafting are both somewhat useful. You can do those if you really want to. However, I personally think combat is the best. After selecting your autism buff, you will be able to press L to level up your innate stats. These permanently increase your stats, such as damage and tankiness. The temperature meter is directly above the center of your hotbar. This displays how hot or cold you are. If you get too hot, you will get hypothermia. If you're too cold, you will get hypothermia. Both will damage you, increasing over how long you continue to stay at the intense temperature. This has no cap on damage. Temperature in RLCRAFT follows much the same rules as real life, for the most part. Heat sources such as fire will increase your temperature. Cold sources such as water will decrease your temperature. Biomes can also play a role in temperature. Deserts are a hot biome and will raise your temperature. Mountains are a cold biome and will decrease your temperature. Seasons also play a role. You can view the season with the Season Clock item. The thirst bar is located directly above the hunger bar, and this will deplete whenever you do any physical activity. You can refill the thirst bar by crouch right-clicking with an empty hand on a water source block. Each time you drink water, you have an uncommon chance to get parasites. You will get the parasite debuff when drinking unpurified water for 60 seconds. When you have parasites, you have a chance to take damage each second. This can be very deadly. You can avoid this debuff by drinking purified water. The 2 best ways of purifying water are purified water bottles and canteens. Smelt water bottles to get purified water bottles. Canteens can be right-clicked on water to refill with unpurified water. To purify it, place a charcoal filter with the canteen in a crafting grid. I recommend making about 20 to 30 filters to last you until you acquire the Dragon Canteen, which is an item that auto-purifies water for you. There are other methods, of course, of dealing with parasites. However, I think these are the best methods. Feel free to use whatever you think is the best. It is completely normal to die many times in your first attempts because of all the dangerous mobs and modifiers added in RLCRAFT. Lycanite mobs are notoriously weird looking. You will know what mobs are Lycanites just at first impressions. Lycanite mobs are all generally pretty dangerous. Lycanite mobs can spawn from breaking some blocks, such as ores, crops, and killing mobs. There is also ice and fire mobs, such as cockatrices, dragons, and sea serpents. Again, with the Lycanite mobs, these are all pretty dangerous mobs and should generally be avoided until you know how to fight them. Sea serpents and dragons are the most dangerous of these. There's also modifiers that all mobs in this game can have, such as Blight, Infernal, and Champion. Blight mobs have purple fire effects and are actively abusing steroids. Infernal mobs have rainbow particle effects, are pride allies, and have many unique abilities. Champion mobs range from 1 to 5 stars, as designated by their boss bar. The more stars a champion has, the stronger it is. You cannot simply punch a tree for some wood. No. Because this is RLCRAFT. You need an axe to topple a tree, just like real life. The steps to breaking your first tree are as follows. Break gravel until you get flint. Right-click the flint on a stone to get 2 flint shards. Break some tree leaves for sticks, and hope a mob doesn't spawn. Craft a flint knife. Break grass with your flint knife to get plant fiber, and hope a mob doesn't spawn. Craft 3 plant fiber into a plant string. Make yourself a flint hatchet, and then use it to top your first tree, and hope a mob doesn't spawn. To get planks, place your logs on the ground, and spam right-click on them with a hatchet. To get sticks, do the same thing, but with planks. And now, you have the equivalent of 10 seconds on a normal Minecraft world. In 5 minutes. You need XP for pretty much everything in this mod pack. From enchanting to repairing items and armor, to skills menu, to the L menu. You need it for pretty much everything in regards to progression. You cannot progress meaningfully without it. So, let's go over how to get XP. The best early game XP resources is just killing every passive mob you see, or setting up an animal or crop farm. I particularly don't like crop farms. I think they're kind of a waste of time, but many people do, so I'll include it here, because why not? For mid-game, night fighting or clearing dungeons is usually what you want to do. For the late game, it's much of the same. Just kill everything. Like, if you find a dungeon, kill it. Like, that's all the XP you'll ever need. Yeah, that's it for XP. It's basically just kill stuff and breed animals early game. Yeah, that's kind of it for how to get XP. I'll go more in depth on how to get XP in a future video. Choosing your starter base location and structure will dictate the rest of your playthrough. Avoid biomes with extreme temperatures when choosing a base, as the winters or summers will be unplayable at best. The best starting structures are passive ones with good resources, such as villages, wizard towers, marble mansions, kingdoms, port cities, hamlets, friendly outposts, farm outpost, and hobbit holes. Of course, feel free to make a base or find another passive structure besides one of these. These are just recommendations. You don't have to follow these. However, there is one thing that you should absolutely follow. For the love of God in anime, please don't set up base next to a dragon.